I'm Randy Kleiner, the co-founder and CEO of SeriesFest, and welcome to the Q&A for Dale's House in our late night competition. I also have to mention that they were a winner of our South by Southwest Pitchathon, and we are so grateful to have them here with us at SeriesFest. And we've got some exciting guests today here from the cast and creative team who I'm gonna let introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Julie Lake. I'm the co-creator of Dale's House, and I also play Nilly in the pilot.
Hi, I am Matt Kirsch, and I'm also the co-creator, and I play Ben in the pilot as well.
And hi, I'm Kat Whalen. I was the director of the pilot.
Dynamic team for sure. Thank you for being here with us. Well, you know, it's always good to start at the beginning. So let's go back, Matt and Julie. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the genesis of the project?
So Matt and I have been friends since college, like our characters on the show. And we had done a lot of creative work together back then. And right when we graduated, living in New York, Matt wrote this fantastic web series called Duder that we both starred in. And then many years passed, we went our separate ways. I was mostly focused on acting, he was writing. And, you know, we came together in like a bit of a slump. We were kind of like, nothing felt like it was moving forward. We'd had some projects in development hell, and we were just feeling a little bit like total and utter failures. And so we decided we wanted to just write something together that we could just go ahead and make, and just kind of like be creative and put it out into the world and revive the sort of Duder spirit of the old web series that Katrina actually directed a bunch of those episodes. And that was sort of the genesis of Dale's House.
Yeah, and so we were living in LA, and like LA just kind of makes you feel like a failure because there's always people like more successful, and success is just such a thing, a commodity or whatever. We've since moved out, so we've kind of like escaped a little bit. But so yeah, we kind of were feeling this terror of like we're in our 30s and we're not like, we don't have a boat yet, and like we're not whatever. So we wanted to kind of channel that terror, and then we also really love horror, so we wanted to kind of combine that like terror of failure with like actual terror of like a demon in a house, and kind of play around with the mixing of genres a little bit. So that's kind of where Dale's House came from.
I love that. And speaking of the mixing of genres, because it obviously, I mean, it works. So there were times where I was laughing, and I get scared about anything anyway, but I was definitely like, oh my God, what's actually happening? Did you have kind of an inspiration for this? Because it's really just, the tone is so unique and so right on that line, but it plays so well.
Inspiration?
I mean, I feel like we tried to be true to the comedy that we love, which is just kind of like dry character-based comedy, but we also want to stay true to the horror that we love, like make it really scary, like supernatural scary stuff. So, and honestly, we haven't seen too much that really combine those two well. Like, we really love like what we do in the shadows is like kind of a horror comedy, but it's not really that scary. But yeah, I think it was just kind of like, yeah, we have our own kind of separate inspirations that, we love, but we haven't seen too much that combine them. I mean, at least I haven't. I don't know.
Yeah, I think one thing that I really loved figuring out when we were working through it was how to let the comedy really live in the performances, and the characters really bring that forward, and then how to supplement that with sort of atmospheric filmmaking techniques and camera work with our DP Ben Rakowski, and how that could kind of build this sort of other foreboding horror that is Dale's House, that's sort of enveloping these two really kind of vibrant and funny characters. So that was definitely kind of what I had my eye on as we were working through rehearsals and then the shoot and the edit.
Yeah, no, Katrina, I'm glad you brought that up, because obviously the shooting style so mirrors the performances and the tone and all of that. And I was wondering if you could just talk a little bit about the production process, and how long did it take, and what did your crew look like?
So we've been talking about this for a while, and then Matt and Julie were looking at kind of different avenues to take it out into the world. And Julie, I don't know if you want to talk about sort of getting to the point of being 8 months pregnant, 8 months pregnant, and realizing we needed to do something and do something quick if we were going to do it.
Yeah, it was kind of like we had the ultimate deadline for making Dale's House. I was like, guys, we got a few months, like, are we doing it or not? And that was ultimately like really helpful to us in our creative process. So yeah, we just kind of all hustled and put a team together through, you know, I know that Kat had worked closely with Ben before. And, you know, he brought also a lot of excellent crew together, and we did it all in just 3 days, which was crazy because it was like, what, 21 pages or something like that. It was pretty miraculous that Kat was able to make it all happen.
Yeah, we also had the deadline of we have access to this location for like 3 days, and that includes load in and cleanup. So then it was just sort of figuring out how to shoehorn and how to cover everything and get all the night and the day. And I think our crew ended up being about, it was pretty small. I mean, it was very scrappy run and gun, even within the one location. So I think we had about 10 people on crew all told.
Wow. I like the idea of an you know, there's deadlines, which are good, but ultimate deadlines, like you can't go past those. That's always helpful to kind of keep us on track. I love that. Matt and Julie, you guys are multi-hyphenates. You were writers, creators, producers, actors. I mean, you did it all. How did you do it? How did you go about kind of being able to, you know, wear all the hats, and what were the kind of fun and challenging parts of that?
First of all, I had help from, we had a producer, a friend of mine named Dana Ferris, who was, you know, really like, because we were like, let's do this, but we had no idea like how much it was going to cost or how it was going to get done. And she had like charts and she had budgets, and, you know, we really needed that person, because I'm certainly not that person. But once we kind of figured that out, I mean, you know, ultimately it's just kind of like suddenly the sun is very weird on me.
Great, it's really moody. It's like, ooh.
Yeah, I mean, there's no like magic to it. It was just like sending a ton of emails and making a ton of phone calls.
I mean, but you were like so pregnant, so like your job was way harder than mine. Just like, you know, but you know, I don't know, like I never really act in anything except for stuff that I write, and mostly stuff with Julie, just because like we have this kind of natural friendship, and it's just like so fun. And obviously it's so fun working with Kat too. So it's just, it didn't really feel like work at all. Like it was just kind of like so fun, and just like kind of just, yeah, it was just like, I mean, obviously it was work. It was really long hours and stressful. Like, do we get the shot, and like tears and stuff. But and goo, like goo dripping, that was really annoying. Yeah, I mean, ultimately it was just like super fun, and just kind of like, this is the opportunity, like this is like a blessing to be able to like work with your friends and make something, you know, like this. So
yeah,
absolutely. And Kat, what I imagine with a piece like this, there had to have been some kind of fun moments on set, you know, talk about maybe like a funny moment, or just a moment that went like so awry, or something kind of challenging.
I'm trying to think. I think, I mean, the goo always makes things exciting. How many takes could we make Matt do with the goo before he realized we were just—
it was really sticky. Yeah.
And how many was that?
Too many. You know, because we didn't have like multiple wardrobe. Like we had one shirt, so like if you soil it, you had to like stop and like hair dry it and like wait. I mean, also the unicorn mask was like tricky, because like you couldn't see out of it at all. Like, so it was just like you were just completely blind. And so we had a couple of I actually was the unicorn for some scenes, which is kind of like an Easter egg, I guess.
That was pretty great. The opening unicorn, we kind of realized that we needed to do it. We were going to do it, I think the next night, was that what it was? And then we were like, wait, no, we have to get through our schedule. We have to do it tonight.
Then we didn't have somebody to play the unicorn. So then Matt got the unicorn mask and like, we're like watching it, but then Matt was getting really pissed off because he was like, wait, I need to
Like,
see this too.
I couldn't watch the footage because I was the unicorn, but I also like couldn't see out of the mat. So yeah, it was just stressful. It was a very stressful, like midnight shoot.
We were walking through, like underbrush that wasn't great to walk through at night anyway, without any.
And I was just like screaming at him from across the street, like, walk, keep walking, like cross the house, like a bunch of different options for that opening shots. I think we did.
And then you forced your husband to be the unicorn for the rest of the shoot, which he wasn't that happy about.
Yeah,
that's what family's for.
Yep, exactly. We had Julie's husband playing the unicorn, and the night before we were shooting, my husband, who had come out to LA, we're in New York, and we flew out to LA for the week to do rehearsals and to shoot it. The night before we were shooting, my husband looked at me and said, "So who's ADing for you guys?" And we figured we'd wing it, and he was like, "Oh, don't, what? Oh, okay." And I was like, I can't ask you to do that. And he's like the most un-AD type personality. But he was like, all right, fine, I'll AD for you guys. So he got drafted.
I didn't even know that. I didn't know this story.
Oh yeah, he was like, no, you guys, yeah, he was there to do.
That was so nice of him.
Yeah, I think he just didn't want to deal with me at the end of the days. I was like, ah! So, anyway, surprise AD.
Truly a family affair. Everybody's family was a part of it. I absolutely love that. So, are there any future episodes that you guys have come up with or thought about that you can tease?
I mean, we've pretty much like, we planned out a lot of the season. I don't know, I don't want to give away too much because it's like all part of the fun and, the kind of bargain, like if somebody wants to see more episodes, they need to pay us to like.
You heard that. You liked it. Pay them.
Yeah, so we're really kind of waiting for the money to come in before we spill the beans. But I mean, it's great. Like all the stuff planned. It's no, I don't know. I mean, what can we give away, Julie? I don't know. Do we have any like little hints that we can give away? I mean.
All right, I'm not going to put you on the spot with that. I'm going to do a follow-up question. So is your hope to raise money to film the rest of the season independently? Is that kind of goal, or are there other things that you're looking for?
Well, honestly, we're kind of thinking that like Dale's House might actually just make an excellent feature. So we're kind of looking at that. We might pitch it around as a series. We haven't been trying to like independently raise money for it. But if we do go the feature option, I think we could bootstrap it and just make it happen. So yeah.
I love that. Well, exciting. And we look forward. We got to figure something out because I know I'm anxious to know more, and I'm sure our audience as well. But thank you all for joining us so much and for bringing us Dale's House. I certainly love it. Hopefully our audience loved it out there too. Thank you. And we will see you all soon. Thanks.
Awesome.
Thanks so much. Appreciate it.